Welcome to 5 Minutes of Faith, brought to you by Believers Ministry, where we're reaching the community with the love of Christ, one person, one family at a time. Join us as we are taking excerpts from our pastor's recent sermon. It's going to be about 5 minutes.
The title of today's message is Pass the Test. Our lesson text will be taken from Genesis, the 22nd chapter, verses 1 through 14. But our focus is only going to be on two scriptures, and that's verses 1 and 2 from the New International Version. And it reads, "Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, 'Abraham.' 'Here I am,' he replied. Then God said, 'Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about.'" When it comes to taking tests, most people don't like to take them. And they'll try whatever they can do to get out of taking the test if they can. But we know that there is no getting around to taking some tests. They are required, and we have to take the test. For example, you can't get a driver's license without taking the test, and not just taking the test, you've got to pass the test. And if you don't pass the test, guess what? You have to take it over until you pass it. In order to graduate from high school, there are a series of tests that must be taken. These tests are required, and you won't graduate until you pass the test. Well, it's the same for us in our spiritual life. God conducts tests in our lives. He will continually test our character, our faith, our obedience, our love, our integrity, and our loyalty to Him. We have to say to God, too, "Here I am. I want your will to be done in my life. Amen. Not my will, but your will be done." We must be willing to trust and obey God wholeheartedly. Not partial obedience, not half-stepping. We must be willing to trust and obey God with our whole heart. We must surrender our will to God. This takes a made-up mind for us to surrender our will to God and be willing to let go and let God have His way in our life. Amen. It takes us being fully persuaded that God's way is better than our way. Amen. We surrender to God out of our love for Him, and we are willing and available for God to use us. First, we got to be willing for God to have His way in our lives, and then we must be available for God to use us. We must be willing to obey God, and it's not a sacrifice unless it costs you something. And when God asked for Isaac, someone he loved, Abraham knew we're getting ready to worship God. So he was willing to sacrifice his son Isaac. He had complete confidence in the infinite wisdom of God, and he was convinced of God's promise. People want to know who they can trust just to make it through the test of life. Amen. Yes, people will let us down. Yes, people will break their promises. But God is always there, and we can trust in God and rest in the promises of His Word. Instead of taking Isaac, God gave Abraham a whole nation of descendants through Isaac, because Abraham was willing to give up everything for God. He received more than he could have imagined. And it's the same way with us. When we are obedient to God, He returns to us far more than we could ever imagine. The spiritual benefits of His blessings far outweigh our sacrifices. The question is, do you have any Isaacs of your own that you need to put on the altar? You don't want to murmur and complain. You know, we said earlier, I can't take this. Yes, you can. With the help of the Lord, you can take it. Amen. You can't take it by yourself, but with the help of the Lord, you can take it. Yes. Glory be to God. And you can be an overcomer, because that's what His Word says. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. We're not just accident getting ready to happen.
Well.
We are people with purpose, called by His name. Glory be to God. We want to be effective witnesses for the Lord Jesus Christ so that someone knows that God is
We
real.
trust that the word has encouraged you, has impacted your life, and we'd like to extend a cordial invitation to come out and join us in service. Our address is 465 Waterbury Court, Suite E, Gahanna, Ohio, 43230.